Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Translite and this is a noob guide on how to be better at Counter-Strike Global Offense. Now this video will consist of three main parts. First section is going to be on basic weapon control, second part is going to be on movement around the map, and third part is going to be putting these together, and I'll show you certain things that you can do to improve your aim whilst moving. So it's mostly putting things together. Now if you want to skip to those parts, I'll put links on the screen to be able to do that. But also, if you're a very good player already, or you think you're a decently good player, some of these tips are very basic and there's no point watching them. I'll be doing a video later on actually some more advanced tips on how to throw smokes, flashes and things like that. But at the moment this is for really beginner type people that don't really know how to play the game. Now a lot of these tips might seem really basic. If they still do to you, just try to put them into use anyway. It might sound really stupid, but they actually do come in handy quite a lot. So these are things that I would have found very useful as a beginner player when I was playing Counter-Strike. I played by myself, so I kind of learnt these things as I went along, and knowing these things a lot earlier would have made my gaming experience a lot nicer. All these things, you'll be able to win most of your gunfights just based on pure gun skill if you put these things to good use. You won't be winning on strategy in any way whatsoever. And by strategy I mean being able to throw smokes and flashes and things like that, or fooling your opponents in a certain way. This is going to be based on pure gun skill, and a 1v1 you should be able to win most of your fights just out of this. So first, part one, this is gun control. So first thing you want to know about gun control is what gun should you be using, because there's no point in using a crappy gun and trying to control it when it's, well, a crappy gun. So this here is the AK-47 found on the terrace side. If you're not playing competitive, you can buy it in casual pretty cheap because you don't need to buy armor or anything. So it turns out to be a really cheap gun. But we won't talk about any of the complicated stuff like that, especially if you haven't played any competitive yet. So anyway, it's a one shot to the head. I don't know what the range is at for the one shot to the head, but I'm pretty sure it's quite far because I've been getting lots of one shot headshots with it, so it's really good. But the thing is, this is a really hard gun to handle. If you've ever used this gun before, you would have noticed that its recoil is incredibly hard to control. I was at a decently close range, and as you can see, that is a very large target. I mean, that's from like head to toe, sorry, not head to toe. It's from head to toe, so that's like a pretty big target to be aiming for, and that's from a relatively close distance as well. So what you want to learn to do is be able to fire the AK-47 in different sort of firing modes to be able to get better accuracy out of your shots. Now, one that I like using personally a lot more than, especially at just range, is just tap firing. So that's just like that. That is a really good way of just being able to just tap fire your shots, because that makes you really accurate. The first shot is almost pinpoint accurate every single time. If I aim for the middle of that A, it's going to get there every single time. You just aim for like dots there. It's accurate. It's really accurate. So what you want to do is when you look for your opponents like this, you can fiddle around with your crosshair type, but it's really good just to stand still, take your shot. If you're moving while you're trying to do this, even with a single shot, a lot of those shots weren't even showing up on the wall because they were going so far away. But you can see that it's still really inaccurate. I mean, some of the shots land sometimes, but that's just pure luck. This is an incredibly inaccurate way to shoot if you're just going to start moving and shooting. But if you're standing still, pinpoint accuracy, it's really good. It's like a sniper rifle if you get them in the head. The second type of aiming is a burst fire. Now burst fire consists of 2 to 3 shots, or I don't think you can do 4, but that's with, at that point the gun really starts to kick up. So a 2-shot, you can see a 2-shot burst is actually still quite accurate, and that was a pretty close distance. I'll do it from a little further away. That's still very accurate. That's still like head sort of size. I mean, it wasn't at head level, but just so you can see a little easier. But yeah, so the third shot, that one kicks up a lot more. So usually I like to keep my burst around a 2 sort of spray, or sometimes a 3. Depends on the distance and what I'm or if like the gun just kicks to a third shot anyway. Sometimes when you're trying to do it, trying to regulate those shots whilst moving as well is really quite difficult sometimes. So you just really want to get good at just being able to fire those 2 bursts off. Just being able to time them over and over again, and knowing that you can do it reliably is really good. Now the last firing mode you can usually do is obviously just full auto. You saw before what sort of recoil pattern it has. So what you do is, since it kicks up to the right, to the left, to the right, what you want to do is you want to pull down then pull to the left, then pull to the right, then pull to the left again. I would only recommend, if you're going to use this, is only to spray for the first 10 bullets, or roughly, so that's roughly like 2 seconds or something, because after that it just becomes really hard to control, and you just become incredibly inaccurate. So if you start just going up to walls, that was a very bad one. You just want to be able to start controlling your shots a little more. You just want to go around and trying to get them in nice tight little patches. That was half decent. But it's really good to do is just go up to any area in the map and know that you have something to aim at. So you could go to this wall, for example, and just aim at the A, and you just keep pulling down. And that makes it really, really, really good to be able to practice your aim. You can just pull straight down and you just go like that. So that's always very, very good to do. Now, the second part of this little tutorial is movement. Now, this isn't going to be a main part of what you're going to be doing, but especially when you're playing in casual, but as you can hear, when I move around, my character makes footsteps. Now, this will generally give away a position if you're, like, whoever you're versing is listening. A lot of people don't even realize because I'll be talking with friends, or they'll have music while they're playing, but typically in Counter-Strike, people will be able to hear your footsteps. So what you want to be able to do is, you want to be able to go around and do a shift walk. This makes no noise whatsoever unless if you jump and land. I'm pretty sure that makes a noise for other people to hear. So if you shift walk around, nobody can hear you. So if you know where your opponents are, instead of just running up to them and spraying them like that, because those chickens are damn evil, nasty chickens, you want to be able to just shift walk around, peek your corners, and do stuff like that. The other thing you can do is crouching. So, God, there we go. So being able to crouch behind different objects in the game, making yourself a lot less visible, is the difference between being seen and unseen. Really useful. And even if you aren't unseen and they can just see the very top of your little towel on the top of your head playing as a terrorist, they'll just be able to see it, and they most likely won't be able to. So instead of just going around like this, maybe use your control key so no one can see you, and maybe just peek out your targets or listen for them. That's another thing. A lot of people won't do that when they're rushing through this sort of area. If a lot of people you know are coming like in mass, they won't usually shift walk because they don't feel the need to be able to do that. So you can catch them off guard by just listening to where they are, roughly knowing where they are, and then popping up and spraying down on them. So same with shift walking. It's very good because if you do this and you combine all these sort of three things together, you get like this very fluid motion across the map. Also, running with your knife. It's much quicker to run with a knife. I mean, the amount of times if you know that you have to run somewhere and you have to get there quick, you have to go Sanic, you have to go there fast, pull your knife out. You run so much quicker than just running with your gun out. Look at the speed difference. Ready? That's running with the knife, and if I pull it out with my AK, probably wasn't noticeable there, but trust me, you're a lot slower with the AK walking around than you are with that out. Even pistols you're still really quick with. So the third and final part of this video was, well, putting it together. The last two things I've told you, they're pretty useful by themselves, but put together you can become a really accurate sort of shooter, and this will make you a lot more of a formidable opponent against the other people you're versing. So when you're going around in areas on the map, you'll learn these the more you play, but there's certain areas where there's always people. So I'm just using this as an example. It doesn't matter what game mode you're playing or whatever map you're playing, you'll learn these areas. But usually on this area, on a defuse mission, and you're playing as a terrorist and you come around this corner, there's going to be people down there, so you'd go like that until you'd get to here. Then you would look up and look to the right, and you'd pick this area here because that's where they are, and you keep your crosshair at head level. And then as soon as you do that, you could check left. They don't usually go lowers because they know that sometimes terrorists are going lowers and they'll be over there. But then you move across and you check here and then flick back again as you move across. And you keep your crosshair at head level. And if you're shift walking, instead of shooting while shift walking, that's inaccuracy. What you want to do is, as soon as you see them, you want to shift but stop moving. You want to start strafing. So after being able to go around these areas and look for people and look for them like around head level, and you keep checking their areas that they may be in, you want to just be able to keep your crosshair there. Really useful thing to do, especially if you play one map quite often. I play this map a lot. I really love this map in competitive, so I've tried to learn as many of the spots as I can, and you can usually take them out if you go around. There's another thing. Okay, so I'll run through this now. It's called pre-shooting. So if you know that there's nearly 100% chance there's going to be someone there because it's just an often spot to camp, what you can do is, a lot of people camp right behind that door, not to that door, behind that wall there, and they also go there, and they also go there. So if you know that, when you go around this corner, you can walk around, shift, bang them in the head like that. You wouldn't obviously go all the way out, you'd go like this, and just peek them. You just peek those spots and you'd pre-shoot them, so before you even see them, you just go around and shoot. This isn't always a good tactic though, because it can give away your position and possibly show your enemy where you're rushing, but typically this is a good thing to do, because, I mean, the amount of times I've walked around here and pre-shot one guy here and then flicked to this spot, and there's been a guy here as well and I pre-shot him, it's just such a useful thing to do. I mean, you should just try it, really good. And the final thing I'll be running you through, which is also very useful, but I was going to put in a later video, but I'll just show you now, is when you're entering bomb sites. Now, obviously, you don't want to enter any area where you know there's going to be people by just running down the middle. You don't run down the middle here and just go, yep, there's going to be someone here, I know it, I'll just keep running through the middle, because they're going to be here somewhere. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to give yourself an opportunity to hide if you are seen. So, a good thing to do is, if you're ever going anywhere, is try to find a wall. And if you know the map's okay, you know that this area here, if I go right here, nobody can see me from there. So you're able to go into here and then just go like that. And you can check up here, make sure that no one peeks their head there for a bit. You can get into that area, which is counter-terror spawn, and then you're able to move back across again. And then you can keep checking here, and then you have to move across, and you just stay here behind here. And this will give you a better chance, even though they can just see your head still and a bit of your body, they're still not getting that lucky shot. Even if they're a bit lower and their bullets kick up, that would stop that first shot hitting you right in the middle of the chest, and that would possibly get you killed. So it's being able to just know where your cover is. So yeah, those are some good things that I would have found useful when I was a much lower level player. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you think of it in the comments if you can. Give it a like if you liked it, and dislike it if you disliked it. If you want any more videos on Counter-Strike, because I really enjoy making these, please let me know if you want more than what I will be making. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.